I'm at the river. I need it.
Are you happy now that you're at the water?
Very much so.
Welcome to the Den of Tools.
Howdy ho, guys and gals. It's Red, your friendly neighbor tool bear, back again here in the old Den of Tools. And today we're here to talk about handheld radios, kind of walkie-talkie kind of things. But honestly, calling these walkie-talkies is an insult because these might be some of the best handheld radios that I've ever used, and I've used a fair amount. I'm not gonna say I'm an expert in this space. I'm sure some of you are, but we can talk about this. But first, let me show you the distance we got on these, what kind of sound quality we got, ease of use, that sort of thing. Let's jump into that. I recruited the little girl cub in for this, so we had some fun out there in Paradise Valley. So here we go. All right, we've got the Retevis 15s here, me and the girl here. She's helping me out, and we're in a long flat road here in this valley here, so there shouldn't be any outside interference. We're out away from other stuff. It's going to be a long, clear, mostly line of sight kind of thing. I have set the reset, let's say, the trip computer here. So the first one here we're going to turn on. So, or sorry, this one over here, that turns
on.
We're going to turn
16.
that on. We're on 16. Let's go to 12.
13. 12.
All right.
Okay.
Want to go 12?
Turn it on first.
Big, small one turns it on.
Power on. 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Anytime today will be fine. All right. Walk over there and test. All right. Are you ready for me to go?
Yep.
All right. I'll be back in like 2 minutes probably.
Got it.
All right, so we're gonna abandon my daughter here in the middle of nowhere. We're just outside of town, we're not that far. And she's got her radiator. So, I'm gonna go I'm sure these things will do at least 1 mile. We'll see here, we'll see where we get to. We'll get to the top of this ridge down here, and we'll see what's what from there. All right. Nice wide road here. Alright, it's 2/10 of a mile. We should get at least half a mile at that rise. Now, I'm going to hold the walkie-talkie out the window when we get there. Alright, we're at half a mile. Can you hear me at half a mile?
Yes, sir, I can.
Here's pretty good. All right, I'm going for a mile.
Got it.
That's 0.8. 0.9. All right, that's 1 mile. I think there's a little turnout right here we'll use. You can see there we're at 1 miles and use 8.6 miles a gallon. Huh? Oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys can see that down there. That is one dead aminal. All right. We're at the top of the ridge. Come in, little girl. Can you hear me?
Can hear ya. Loud and clear.
All right, I'm going for 2 miles then.
Got it.
All right. He is DEAD. Maybe we'll check him out on the way back. All right. Okay, there's gonna be, so we're not gonna have quite line of sight here. So we're gonna have a hill in between us at this point. We're at 1.2. Just scurry on down there. .7. 2 miles. We got a turnout right here. Okay. This is 2 mile range with a slight hill in between us. Let's see what we got. All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, but you're kind of breaking up.
You sound pretty good to me, but I'm in the cab of the truck too, so.
Okay, I can hear you perfectly fine now.
That's 2 miles. I'm gonna go for 3 miles, okay?
Okay.
All right, we are at 3.1 miles. I do have the side of the truck with the window open, facing the way she is. So she's right downrange over there. Let's see what we got. Can you hear me meow?
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, I'm at 3 miles. I'm turning around and headed back.
Got it.
It's not perfect. There's a little bit of static, but I can certainly hear everything she's saying, and I'm not great at that sort of thing. Well, there you go. It was a great trip, fun time there with my daughter. But back to the radios. Oh my gosh, these things are fantastic. Now, I'll be honest. I'd heard a lot of most of the Midland, the retail brand kind of stuff. I'd not heard of Redavis. And I looked into them. Oh my gosh, these guys, this is not like a lot of the companies that reach out to me are like, they got like 1 or 2 products and they're trying to act like they've got this huge lineup. You've seen me do videos on companies like that before and calling them out like, no, you're not a real company. These guys, look at this. These guys have been around. I did some research on them. People talk about, lots of people use them. They're well respected in the radio community. They have handhelds. They've got mobile. They've got base stations. They've got amplifiers, repeaters, accessories, everything you could think of. It's ridiculous the amount of stuff that this company has. They are a serious player in this market. Now let's talk about the radio that they sent me here. Well, let me go over here real quick. It's the RB85 Intelligent Noise Reduction Long Distance Business Radio. And that's the first thing I thought of when I picked this thing up. I was like, open up the box, not expecting much. And I picked this thing up and you could feel in your hand like this is some high resilient plastic. This is a solid radio. It's got a huge battery on it. The other thing I like about it is it's not like a lot of these cheaper radios. They try to throw in all these bells and whistles to make you think that there's value there. They don't play around with that. You got the antenna, the channel knob, the power and volume button. You got your speaker and microphone jacks over on the one side, and then you got your push to talk and your 2 programmable buttons on the left side, and that's it. And it's ready to go. And you don't know fiddling with a USB cord to plug into the the radio itself. It goes straight into a charging base. These things are fantastic. As probably the best. Easily the best radios I've personally owned. At least the best quality radios I've personally owned. Now, I've owned a lot of the retail stuff like Midland, things you can buy either, at brick and mortar, that kind of place. Maybe you can get these there. I've not seen them. I've only seen them online. But this thing is pretty fantastic. Now, I do have to call out a few things here. So these are GMRS 10-watt radios. That means you're going to need a license to use these. Good news is getting that license isn't hard. All right. So these fall into the 400 to 470 megahertz range. Now there is 2 bands in that range. There's well, I don't know if CB is in that range, honestly. I don't really pay attention to the CB these days, but we got FRS and GMRS. Now, FRS was set aside. It's 2 meter and lower, 2 watt and lower as far as the transmission power. And, but they're essentially modern walkie-talkies. They have about a half a watt per channel, up to 2 miles range. They're decent little radios. We've used them a whole bunch, but we had some needs for the family. We stepped up, and I got some of the GMRS stuff way better. These radios here that we're talking about here, these things are, I think it's 10 watt power. No, it is 10 watt power. These things are ridiculous. Now, as far as getting licensed, we're going to talk about how you get the license and how easy. There's no test or anything for this sort of thing. Now, as far as programming it, because it does take up that whole bandwidth. You can go anywhere 400, 470. So you want to make sure you're on the right track there. So you need to, I don't think you need it out of the box, but if you're going to program it, if you want to program it, you can do that. You can download the software from the website. I'll show you that in just a second. But you're going to need a cable like this. It plugs into the 2 audio jacks on the side. I know it seemed weird for me the first time I did that with one of these radios. But and it plugs in your USB port on your computer. They're not expensive, $22 there. This is like the #1 selling one on Amazon. 8,000 reviews. It's got a pretty good rating. Slight tiny fishing. I will say this: there's always going to be a radio out there where the programming cable, for some reason, doesn't work with it. There's just this weird thing with these programming cables. Anyway, if you go to the website here, you go to support, you click on that, you go to firmware and software, there's the software download right there. Now, this thing is, currently it's on sale. It's normally listed at $93.99. It's 40% off due to their summer sale. It ends at the end of August, $56.39. I think that price is extremely high. I think the $56 is probably exactly where this thing should be. Between $50 and $70. I mean, if you're running a business, I wouldn't flinch over $70 on this thing. But for personal use, $56. If you want something good quality, you can get by with less. But oh my gosh, you saw the range we were getting out of this thing and the clarity. This is the clearest sounding radio that I've used. Now, let's talk about getting the license and stuff. So the license is currently, let's see, what is it? You got to go over here to the FCC. I'll put links to all this stuff down below. And you got to set up an account and you go in and you just fill out the information. It's really quick. It's really easy. I do have a GMRS license. In fact, they're good for 10 years and mine expires in October. Go figure. Don't know how that, anyway, just this video reminded me I need to renew it. But here's the deal. Congress just passed a law that's going to reduce the cost of the license. Now, it used to be $70 starting any minute now. Like, it's already passed, it's signed, it's a done deal. They're just waiting to implement it in the system, put it in the computer. It's going to go down half price to $35 and stay there until they decide they need more money for something. I don't know. Anyway, once you do that, you go in, you set up your account, you go over here. This is the part that gets a little confusing, so I'm going to include this. You select the service to add. You click the drop down. Now, I know on my screen it doesn't show you the drop down there, and I'm really sorry. But you want to scroll all the way to the bottom and go to, it's under ZA is the abbreviation, ZA. And that stands for, I don't know why, General Mobile Radio GMRS. It's the very last one on the list. That's the one you're going to select and continue and go on and do that. Now, I mentioned like I had Midland radios before, and Midland, they got some great information there on the GMRS stuff. You got to be 18 years of age, not a representative of a foreign government. It's only available to businesses. There's a separate business license if you're going to use this as a business. There's no test, $70, but again, I told you it's now going to be $35. License covers you and your immediate family. That means only one person in the family has to be licensed, and then everyone else can use it. And we've done that. We've had, because we used to be part of a kind of a co-op ranch in Northern California, 14,000 acres. And that's where we used it. We just strap a radio to each one of the kids, myself and the wife, and we could be anywhere in the ranch pretty much and get a hold of each other. Now, if you've been convicted of a felony, you will need to disclose that information, just FYI, and you have to step forth by the rules. Now, you have to follow the rules. So what are the rules? Let's see here. Operator must make station records available. Yeah, anyway, I've never heard anybody talking about that. No messages that break the law. No false or deceptive messages, no coded messages except for 10 codes. Now they're talking about the old CB codes. They're like 10-4, good buddy, that kind of stuff. Any of the 10 dash codes you can use, those are acceptable. No music, whistling, or sound effects. No ads. You can't use this as a commercial station here. No political campaigns. No international distress signals unless you're in a vehicle and actually in distress. No communications with basically no ham radio kind of stuff. No continuous uninterrupted transmissions. In other words, you have to press the button or use the voice to talk kind of thing. You can't just like put a rubber band around the thing and just let it keep transmitting. No messages for public address systems, and must identify with FCC call sign at the end of transmission and at periodic intervals. Yeah, I'm really bad about that. Anyway, so the other thing you could do is you could get your ham radio, all right, or ham license. The cool thing is there's several different licenses now. They're a lot easier. You don't have to remember the Morse code for the basic license. And on top of that, you can now take them online. That's one of the things that have been holding me up is I could never seem to coordinate with the places that were holding the exams. And then, I've been planning this for a long time, and then COVID hit, and I always have an excuse, but now I'm not going to have much of an excuse. So I'm planning to get my license this winter. I think you all should too. It's a fun thing to do, right? And they've reduced the cost of the license also. I think it's now $30 or $35. Wait a couple weeks, let it get into the system and stuff. Anyway, I want to say a huge shout out, a huge thank you to Redavis. I know it looks like it says Redick 15 or B15 or something. Shut up, Moto. Anyway, I know it looks like it says that on there. Anyway, the point is that this thing is pretty nice. I'm going to have to do a separate video where I go over all the different radio systems I've used. Some of them are pretty cheap, pretty cheesy, but great for use with the Cubs when they were little. Some of them were fairly higher end kind of stuff. Whole systems, like you bought them in like multi-packs of like 10 kind of thing. You distribute them to everyone. I have a lot of fun with these things, and they're great, especially for those of us who don't live, in the deep, dark city. And we like to live on the outskirts and get out there in the country and whatnot, because there's a lot of places I go where cell phone is a no-go. It's just, you're not getting that service out there. But if you want to stay in touch for miles and miles and miles, this might be the way to go. Anyway, let me know what you think about all this, the radio stuff, and down in the comments. Is this a system you would use? Do you want to hear more of these kind of radio kind of based kind of videos? Because I do have some knowledge in this arena. I've definitely tried a lot of them and used them a lot. I like playing around with them, so I don't mind talking about them. Anyway, let me know. By the way, while you're down there, don't forget to chomp the old like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell on the way out. You all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.